So today's video topic is pheasants. Now, I currently have two pheasants in the Pheasantasiam. I've got Swinny here and Carrie. Now I've had a total of 5 pheasants in here since we've had the Pheasantasiam. When I built the Pheasantasiam back in the Christmas New Year period over 2011-2012, took 10 days to build, but it wasn't 10 days in a row. It was built for a pair of Lady Amherst pheasants. Now, we didn't have the pheasants, but I had ordered them, and so I quickly had to get an aviary built before they were ready. So they had been born, we were just waiting for them to be sexed. So I knew I didn't have too much time, I had to build my aviary, so I built it over the Christmas holiday period here in New Zealand, which is summer. So once we knew we were getting an aviary, we kind of got excited and wanted birds. We thought, we've got this large aviary that I'm building, we don't need, it doesn't have to be just pheasants, why can't we put other birds in there? So I did a fair bit of research online and got told by pretty much everybody that I couldn't put the pheasants in with anything else. So I thought, really? I don't think so. Birds all live together in the wild. This is a pretty big aviary. Surely I can pull it off. So we ended up going to the bird barn in West Auckland, very popular bird shop, and we bought some quail. They were our first birds. Bert and Ernie, if you're a follower of my channel, you'll remember Bert and Ernie. So Bert and Ernie were the first 2 birds we bought for the Pheasantasiam. They lived in the house with us for quite some time. They used to dust bathe on the carpet. Run around the lounge, and we had a little cage inside for them, and they lived in there while I was building the Pheasantasiam. And then we also, once the cage was finished, we went out and we purchased a pair of cockatiels, Fry and Leela, and supposedly a pair of turquoisines. The turquoisines both turned out to be female, and the cockatiels both turned out to be male. This is turning into a history of the Pheasantasiam rather than a history of the pheasants, isn't it? I guess they're kind of the same thing. So that's Fry there. What do you hear, big out Fry? So he was one of our first cockatiels, along with Leela in the back there. He's off chasing a turquoisine, probably. Not chasing in a nasty way, chasing in an amorous way. So, where was I? Back to the pheasants. So the day that the Pheasantasiam was ready for birds to be released, we still didn't have pheasants. So we released Bert and Ernie out here, and Fry and Leela and the turquoisines. And it was probably, I'd have to check back on my old videos, but I think it was about a month, 6 weeks, maybe 2 months later before we got our pair of Lady Amherst pheasants, which consisted of the female, Carrie, and Brucey, the male, Carrie's partner. So those are our first 2 pheasants. They both looked pretty much like Carrie when we got them. Go, Ernie, go. Male pheasants look like female ones when they're young, and then they turn into magnificently beautiful creatures later on. Over the course of the next couple of years. So, Brucey, pheasants have been very still today. Brucey, we had for maybe 2 years, and then he had a horrible accident and is no longer with us. And then our next pheasants were 2 female, I think they were cinnamon ringneck pheasants. There you go. And they were, how shall I put it, a pair of idiots. They were just very odd birds, and I got them from where I worked at the time, so I took them back. And then a little while later got Swinny instead. Now if you remember Swinny when she was young, she didn't look anything like this. I'll maybe put some footage of her in this video when she was younger. And she was a very sweet bird at work. There was sort of an odd one out. She's a cross between a swinho and a yellow golden pheasant, and so I thought she'd be a good companion for Carrie, as I didn't want another male pheasant, because apart from them being a bit nasty, they're awfully noisy, and being in a suburban area, I didn't think the neighbours would like it. Brucey used to crow at 5 o'clock in the morning, or about 5:30 in the morning, and it was very loud. Mind you, Woody's not much better, and Woody does it all through the night, but that's another story. So I ended up getting the job at the same place I got Carrie and Brucey from about a year later. The owner rang me up and offered me a job, and I accepted, and I worked there for about 3.5 years, I think it was, up until January last year. As you can see, Woody quite fancies Swinny. Swinny's not at all interested, and Carrie and Swinny still don't get along. Carrie tolerates Swinny most of the time, but sometimes she sort of lunges at her. Swinny doesn't really care. Swinny's a very casual, relaxed bird. And Woody is not a pheasant. He's a Cockatiel. And as you can see, rather fancies Swinny. So that's the story of our pheasants, and a bit of a history. What are you doing, Joey? Climbing up my front. Yeah, that's the story of our pheasants and our Pheasantasiam. Yeah. It's still very wet here in Auckland at the moment in September. Hoping to get some work done out here in the aviary soon, because it's a bit of a pigsty. Very wet and mucky. I'm going to build a door for here very shortly, because I have a quail issue. The issue being that the young ones were getting picked on, I think. They had problems with their faces, and I thought they maybe had a disease or something, but when I looked closer it looked like they had been picked. They had blood on their faces were swollen, yet the parents were both alright, so I think Mummy or Daddy was picking on them. Probably because Mummy keeps wanting to lay eggs and they hanging around and she lunges at them all the time. She wanted them to leave the nest, so to speak. So at this stage, where is Daddy? Can't see him. Oh, there he is. What you doing, Sauvignon? Ooh, you puffing up? Not happy with me? I don't know if you can hear it. He's making a funny little noise, trying to scare me off. He's upset. Upset I'm videoing your missus, were you? Yeah? So, I've got the two younger quail in the house, in a cage at the moment, and they need somewhere to go. Sorry, I keep getting distracted all the time by birds. Yeah, in the last video you might have seen me say to this dove, I hope you're not making a nest there. Well, guess what? They've made a nest in possibly the most exposed place in the aviary. The prevailing weather comes from that direction, and the last few days have been so wet and windy, I thought I was worried the aviary was going to blow away, and this silly dove was just sitting in full force of it. Now, where was I? Oh yes, so quail, I need to put them in here. You want to come in here, Woody? I'm going to put them in here and put a gate on here, fence, door, that's the word I want. Put a door on here so the other quail can be in here. They can sort of talk to their parents next door if they wish. If they don't, that's fine. I'll put something so they can see over the top of the barrier if they want to. I'll be done in a minute, Woody. And I'm going to leave a gap at the top for the flying birds to come through. But so Woody and the pheasants can't get in and destroy all the plants that I want to try and get going in here. And won't destroy the quail. I don't know if they would or not, but better not to risk it. Okay, so thanks for watching. That turned out to be a bit longer than I thought it was going to be. And I will see you on the next one. Which will hopefully be me making this door.